Here we are for round two. We win the die roll, and we are definitely going to be on the draw. This deck is very slow. It's three colors. It's got removal. It's got, a pretty, not a huge high curve because we don't really have any sixes or sevens, but, a lot of our deck happens around turns 4 and 5 or 6. So I think, we want to be able to make our land drops as much as possible. We also have quite a few extorters, which is, a consideration as well. I mean, in Triple Gatecrash at times I would play, extort decks with 18 lands, sometimes even maybe 19 lands now and again, just to make sure you could extort effectively. But with double Cluestone, that's very similar to an 18 or 19 land deck, except, we actually can draw a card off a Cluestone, whereas getting flooded off just lands is not, really what we want to be doing. So it looks like the Extort Mirror, which I think is a good situation for our deck. It means that we're not going to get beat down by fast aggro, which is probably our deck's worst matchup. So our big considerations here is whether we should execution or swing this Daring Skyjack. To me, I think the answer is going to be a clear yes. My concern with the Skyjack is that if we would take 3 here, we go to 17, and then we would just, probably be forced to do it next turn, because otherwise we're going to end up taking 9 total from the Skyjack before we can play Volatile Rig. And as I mentioned in the earlier game, one of the things about Volatile Rig, I'm just going to kill this thing. One of the things about Volatile Rig is that you kind of have to protect your life total a little bit because it can really help you and bail you out at times from bad situations, just by blowing up the whole board. But it can't do that if you're at like, 5 life or 4 life or whatever. It just becomes a huge problem to even have Volatile Rig in your deck. You can't even cast it, you can't even use it, so we want to protect our life total early so that way the rig is more effective. Okay, opponent didn't do anything. So we're just going to slam our Volatile Rig. I mean, there's no real reason not to. F6, see if he has some kind of removal spell or whatever. I mean, we don't really care that much. I mean, it'd be nice if Volatile Rig gets to live, but it's really not the end of the world if it dies. We got some other good ones in our hand. Nav Squad Commandos, yeah, that is fine. Alright, well, we'll see if he has the double block. Ooh, we get the ooh, the Orzhov Charm for the blowout. I like it. It's also, yeah, this is pretty good. So we can attack with the rig. See if he elects to blow up the world. He does not, which I'm fine with. Now we have our choice between Lavinia of the 10th or the Vizkopa Confessor. The Confessor's not bad because it lets us take a card out of his hand. He could very well have a removal spell here, but it does let him attack us crackback for 6, which I'm not a big fan of. One of the nice things about Orzhov Charm with the Lavinia is that I can bounce it, replay it, and get the detain effect again. And since we have a Vizkopa Confessor where we, eventually will have Extort set up, I think it's better. I mean, this does allow him to have a 1-turn window where he can, remove one of our guys. But I think it's better than just taking 6 or chumping with this Vizkopa Confessor, which are our other options. Apparently he does not have it. So this is tough. We need to see if he's going to play the Volatile Rig or not. I'm sorry, if he's going to block the Volatile Rig or not before playing the Confessor, because I don't want to lose it to the Rig. We can also pick up Lavinia of the 10th and replay it later, maybe. So let's just go ahead and attack with both, kind of see what he does, and we'll just go from there. Not really sure how he's going to choose to do this. I guess he's going to double block there. That's pretty much optimal for us here because all we're going to do now is just put the Selesnya Sentry there, and we can just simply charm the Nav Squad. It's not great because we will lose some life, but we're going to pretty much just wrath his board here. We go to 9, but he goes to 12, and we didn't even lose a guy. So that's pretty good. If his follow-up is really good, it's problematic, obviously, that we used our Ortho Charm in this manner. But at the same time, he has 6 mana, so most of the kind of like bigger guys or like more, creatures that have an effect on the board that's really strong, generally are 6s. I mean, there are some annoying 7 drops that he could have, but, we're just going to have to. Merciless Eviction, okay. I mean, sure. That's fine. Minorly unfortunate, but now we can get whatever he tried to sandbag past his wrath with Viscopo Confessor, and even leave up the Dispel. Even leave up the Dispel with backup. Alright. Let's gladly pay a life to take away whatever he has. It could very well be a creature. It is a Plains. Okay. Alright. So, I mean, our position here is not terrible. We're both kind of on blanks, but I have a counter spell and a creature, and he doesn't. He just plays the land. Ooh, a Tithe Drinker. Very nice. I guess this doesn't entirely play around Mind Rot by playing the land, but since we're now going to have double Extorters in play, I really, really want to have as many lands in play as possible. I mean, if he Mind Rots me and I lose a Dispel, it's not great, but it's not the end of the world. I don't really mind. What I'd much rather have is enough land in play to be able to extort off of either any expensive spell, or even maybe play 2 spells in a turn extorting off of both. Dagger Drone Imp is not really a concern here. Do not care about that. Not a problem. Spell? No. Couldn't draw a spell. Alright, well, I'm just going to attack with the Confessor. I don't really feel like I want to trade a Tithe Drinker for a Dagger Drone Imp right now. It seems like a poor trade, especially considering that the double extort off of having 2 extorters in play is probably my best win condition at this point. Alright, he gets his own guy. That's fine. And his little lifelink combos, alright. It's not bad. Come on, something good. Ooh, a Deputy of Acquittals. So this is pretty sick, because now we can attack with both, and we have so much land that we can actually attack with both. If he blocks Tithe Drinker on Tithe Drinker, which he might do, that will enable us to just Deputy it back and replay it as a blocker. So I kind of like that line. Or alternatively, we can attack with just the Confessor and just wait for him to try to attack with Tithe Drinker, and then Deputy is kind of an Ambush Viper type of effect. That may actually be better, because it will enable us to win the Extort Wars more effectively. So I think what we're going to just do is this. And we'll see what happens. Holy Mantling that guy. Alright. It's pretty good. That's pretty good. Alright. I'm not gonna lie, that's strong. It's definitely a strong play. I don't think we could have really played around it or done much about it. So our choices here are another target creature, so I can't return Deputy of Acquittals with itself, which is unfortunate, because that would be pretty broken with all these Extorters. We can't block, so we're going to take 5. We're going to go to 2. So if we play Deputy and double Extort, we'll be at 4. If we play Deputy, double Extort, and then return one of these 2 to our hand and then replay it with Extort, then we'll be at 5, which might be better. Even though he has 5 total, that I think sets us up a little bit better. So what I think I'm going to do here is play the Deputy, double Extort, Getting a little bit of lag, which is unfortunate. This is going to take us to 9 and him to 8. I think we're going to have to return this Tithe Drinker, sadly, because hitting him for 5, even if we drew a spell, it would only be 7. We'd have to draw our own instant and then dispel our own instant. I mean, I think we've already used both of the instants in our deck. So we're going to 9, we're taking 5, going to 4. I think our best bet is actually to return. If we return our Tithe Drinker, it doesn't actually work, right? Because it's the same. We still need to draw a secondary spell. Although if we draw a spell that's cheaper, we can return Tithe Drinker, replay it with Extort, going to 5. And then if we draw a spell that costs like 4 or less, we can also extort off of it. So that will give us an additional extort than if we do not return the Tithe Drinker. So I think we want to return the Drinker here. Yeah, I think we want to return the Drinker here. So that we can replay it with extort. It's kind of awkward, but our clock is not such that we can really do anything. So, I mean, it was unfortunate he drew the Holy Mantle off the top, but it happens. You know, he gained some life as well. This happens. All right. See what we can do here. Ooh, Maw of the Obsidian. Okay. Certainly not the worst card to draw. Although, are we still dead? We might still be dead. Yeah, I think we still die, huh? Because if we double extort, no, we go to 6. We go to 6. Draw this guy. Extort once. Yeah. We can play the Maw. Extort again. Go to 6. I mean, our chances of winning this game are not extremely high, but you know, we gotta play to our outs here. Our best out at this point is, I'm not even sure. Probably an Action Injunction on Tithe Drinker, I imagine. It's probably the best thing we can manage to draw. You know, I mean, it's a bit rough. I think we played this game in general fairly well. It's just a little unfortunate that with 0 cards in hand, he was able to draw the Tithe Drinker into Holy Mantle, which is becoming a little problematic for us, especially because we can't even Void Wielder that guy because it has protection from creatures. But if he bricks on a spell here, we actually are not in terrible shape. But we need him to brick. We can't even block, so I mean, there's really no point in. I mean, I don't know. We'll see if he might be slow rolling us here. Maybe he's slow rolling the. Okay, if he only attacked with Tithe Drinker, that means he's not slow rolling us. That would mean that he doesn't have a spell, because then we wouldn't die. So we shall see exactly what he does here. Alright, he's going to gain 4 going to 12. I'm going to take 4 going to 2. Can't block. Alright. See what we draw. See if we can draw anything that'll save us here. Okay. Cluestone's not the best, but maybe we can at least draw a card. We do have a turn and burn as well in our deck, so see what happens. So we want to make sure we leave at least a blue open. Let's see. Because what we need to do is turn the Tithe Drinker. I don't even know. I guess we need to have to be able to turn and burn it, which is kind of awkward. I guess we don't really have the mana to do that. Let's go ahead and I guess we just extort twice. Yeah, we just extort twice here. Take us to 4. I guess last turn, if we had had Tithe Drinker available, instead of, bouncing it, we could have attacked back for 2 and had lifelink. But my concern with doing that is that if he had had another creature in his hand, that plan would just not work. So this way, at least we have a plan that semi-works. And let's go ahead and we can just attack with everything. And giving the Tithe Drinker... Obviously he has a land in his hand because the spell killed us last turn. So we can just attack with everything. Sorry about the lag, guys. I have to restart Magic Online at some point here. Let's make sure that Maw is definitely attacking. Alright. And let's see how he blocks. I'm assuming he throws Dagger Jump on Tithe Drinker. I mean, I'm not really sure. I'm not even really sure what his, appropriate block is here. Okay, he blocks the Maw. That is more than fine. So we're going to gain 2 from Tithe Drinker, which is going to be huge. He's going to put us to 6, so that way his attack plus a spell actually does not kill us, which is kind of sweet. And we get to hit for a bunch here. Okay, so he goes to 6, we go to 6. And I think we can just pass. We can just pass the turn. There's nothing we can even cast. If we crack our Cluestone, we can't even really cast anything of relevance. And we have the Dispel back up here as well. So if he goes to 10, we're going to have 8 on board. A Basilica Screecher. Okay. Okay. Nobody ever said it was going to be easy. So that's awkward. I'm pretty sure the other card in his hand isn't a spell, because if he had a spell last turn, we were actually just dead. If he does have a spell, hopefully it's an instant so we can extort. Alright. Assuming he cracks back with his Holy Mantled guy. Take us back to 1. We'll see if he attacks us or not. And if he doesn't attack us, it's pretty good for us, actually. It's going to give us a lot more time to draw out of this situation. Whereas, if he attacks us, I mean, we're actually just dead on board to 2 lethal attackers. But maybe he's so afraid of Maw of the Obsidian that he's going to just do some crazy stuff just to not lose to it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Crack our Cluestone at the end of the turn. Okay, just a land. Alright, what are we going to draw? Ooh, Void Wielder. That was definitely one of our better draws. So now we can bounce the Basilica Screecher and attack with everything. So we'll bounce the Screecher, we'll double extort, taking him to 5. And then if we attack with everything, we should be able to sacrifice some number of creatures to Maw of the Obsidian and lethal him. So let's go ahead and do that. Careful not to tap our island, even though we're lagging. Yeah. All right, guys. This is a kind of a pivotal moment in the game, and I'm experiencing some serious lag, so I'm going to try and resolve that and return to recording in a moment. All right, guys. Well, the lag problem doesn't seem to be going away, but we can always furiously F6 through the next couple games if necessary. I think we might actually be snatching victory from the jaws of defeat here, because once we bounce this Basilica Screecher, it puts us in a position where we can attack for lethal, because he can block a guy with Holy Mantle. Do we wish to use this ability? Certainly. Certainly do. We know the card in his hand is a land because we were dead to a spell earlier, and the only thing that can beat us right now is lag, so we will try to not lose to our own clicks, ideally. But I think we got it because we attack with our 4 guys, he blocks one of them. Maybe Maw of the Obsidat, who knows? And then we just sack all our guys to the Maw. We have a Dispel in case he even has anything. So I think we're going to be in fine shape. Yeah, I don't think he has any outs to this. It was obviously his own fault for not attacking with Tithe Drinker last turn. I think that attack was pretty good for him. It put me dead on board, whereas now I'm actually in pretty good shape. Again, assuming that like misclicks don't occur, uh, should be good. So 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's actually just lethal. I think what we're gonna do is sack both Void Wielder and the Maw, just in case. So we're going to sacrifice Void Wielder. There's really no reason to not sacrifice it here. I guess like the way their functionality of sacrifice effects is going to be, like, after from now on, is they're going to make it so guys can't sack to themselves. But thankfully, Maw of the Obsidat is not one of those. So he's not going to gain any life because he blocked the Maw and we sacrificed it. And he should be taking lethal here. Alright. We win. Okay. So now I am going to restart Magic Online, and hopefully this lag problem will go away. I think it's just a thing with the recording software plus Moto is making my computer a little angry, and I'll be right back with game 2 of the second round.